Now, Frank Luntz is the top Republican pollster. For decades, he's been coming up with different words to trick the American people into voting for tax cuts for the rich and for more wars and for the entire Republican agenda, which they don't agree with. Now, Frank Luntz knows that they don't agree with that. He's the best pollster the Republicans have. He's actually one of the best pollsters in the country. So he does the polls every day, and he goes, if he asks the question in a normal way, he knows the American people are totally center-left. That's how they answer it. They want to protect Social Security, Medicare. They don't want to go into wars. You name a question, and he knows that they do not wind up on the conservative side. They wind up on the liberal side. So he's been playing with words for over 20 years. So it's not an estate tax, it's a death tax. And games like that, right? Apparently, he's run out of answers. There's no more games left. It's the end of bullshit road, okay? We've come to the very end of that cul-de-sac. So Frank Luntz has decided, we're in trouble, dog. The Atlantic did a story on him. Molly Ball talked to him, and they explained. The crisis began, he says, after last year's presidential election, when Luntz became profoundly depressed. He apparently said, I'm not good enough, and I hate that. I have come to the extent of my capabilities, and this is not false modesty. I think I'm pretty good, but not good enough. Now, look, you got to understand something. He's not just being the opposite of Stuart Smalley. Okay, God damn it, I'm just not good enough. He's being honest for the first time in his life. He's like, look, you don't get it, man. I've been playing this game for a long time. I got paid millions and millions of dollars to play this game. I'm really good, but I can't trick them anymore. You know, when we started getting to the end, it was when Frank Luntz said, and this was about a year ago, and I went nuts about this because I thought it was a big deal, and apparently he thought it was a big deal too. When the word capitalism started polling badly, and the word socialism started polling well, and he was like, whoa. He told Republicans, stop saying middle class. Every time you say middle class, people want to vote Democrat, not Republican, okay? Stop talking about capitalism. And then he got to 2012, and he ran out of things to talk about. He's like, we trickle down economics. Well, now people know, man. Before, when we said trickle down economics, people were like, oh, really? Oh, yeah. He's like, but all it's done is trickle all over their head for the last 30 years. So yeah, I know. A lot of the people can be tricked a lot of the times. But apparently they can't be tricked this many times. He says, quote, the old Frank Luntz was sure, as the article explains, he could invent slogans to sell the righteous conservative path of personal responsibility and free markets to anyone. The new Frank Luntz fears that is no longer the case, and it's driving him crazy. Now, my favorite quote from the article. So what does a despondent Republican pollster do? Finally, 6 weeks after the election, during a meeting of his consulting company in Las Vegas, he fell apart. Leaving his employees behind, he flew back to his mansion in Los Angeles, where he stayed for 3 weeks, barely going outside or talking to anyone. Is he going to be all right? Was he stuck in that mansion all by himself for 3 weeks? Oh. Golly gee, I feel so bad. He had to run back to his mansion. Hey, you know what? We're making progress. We've driven the Republicans back into their mansions.